Well, hello everyone. Thanks for taking a second to listen to me share. In typical Kyle fashion, I decided to actually put together a presentation because I'm a nerd like that, apparently. But yeah, if you don't know who I am, my name is Kyle Kugler. I work at the University of Northern Iowa in our John Papa John Entrepreneurial Center. Our website, IASourceLink, is kind of housed under that. When I first started working with IASourceLink at UNI, I was just primarily just working on referrals, referring entrepreneurs out to the state governments, the different resources that they can have to start and grow their businesses. And since then, I've kind of worked my way to actually managing the website and making sure that it doesn't crash and burn, which is a whole fun experience I'm sure that most of you get to do all the time. So yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of things that IASourceLink is doing these days and how we're leveraging artificial intelligence on our website to better serve our clients. And then hopefully, and I kind of shared this at the end of my presentation, how we envision our services actually being more intertwined with state agencies and having them leverage us, which is kind of a unique idea, I feel. So like I said, there's two primary ways that we're doing this right now. The first is through Google's SGE, and I'll go into that in a second because I can't remember what SGE stands for. Heck, I even have a note over here about what GPT stands for, right? So many big words. And then the other one is using AI chatbots through chatbot.com. So we'll start with Google. Just a brief overview of this. Search generative experiences is Google's new way of actually searching online. So in the traditional sense, you would go to your web browser, you type in, how do I find an awesome dog park or something like that, right? And you would get a giant list of all of these different options that are out there. And through the use of AI, this SGE experience, so to speak, Google will actually take all of that information and kind of create a unique way to look at it. It'll scan through all of the different websites, basically saving you time so you don't have to go website to website to find the information that you're after. So obviously there's some good time-saving aspects with this, but then there's also potential downfalls where it's like, well, are we seeing all the information that we want? Are we not seeing all the information that we want? So that's something that's kind of coming up. It's currently in the works. I think that at least our organization at UNI, we're not allowed to actually participate in this. I'm not entirely familiar how many businesses or individuals are able to actually test out SGE, but it might be something to look into. And from what I've been reading, that this won't actually get out into full production to where just the average Joe can try this out until 2024. So I just took like a little image that I found off of the interwebs that basically explains or just shows what this could look like, where it just kind of summarizes everything. SGE will look at images, it'll look at videos, it'll look at text, links, all of that stuff. So I wanted to just do a comparison real quick of the difference between SGE and the traditional SEO, which I'm sure all of you have heard about. SEO really optimizes your website so you show up better in the search results. So you're working on the best titles, search queries that people are looking into, making sure that you have the right amount of backlinks. So those websites that are out there are linking back to you. Could be on your YouTube channel, for instance, and it's just going back to you. And then also your domain authority. How many, I'll just say government websites are out there, or larger websites that are really reputable are linking back to your website. The more of those things that you have, the higher in the search results you typically will appear. There's a lot more that goes into it, but that's at a base level what it is. So SGE basically takes all of that and kind of flips it on its head, so to speak. And it's basically taking all of the information, like I said, and creating a more unique experience for that individual who's searching for information. So it's no longer just write a catchy headline. You need to be providing value to that reader no matter what. There's some ups and downs that come with this, and I'll kind of explain that over here. I'll start by saying this before I talk about the 90% online searches that occur through Google, which I'm sure isn't a shock to everyone. But the crazy part about SGE, at least in my perspective, is that your website will likely take a hit in traffic to your website. And you might say, well, why is that? We're providing value to people. Well, if Google is taking all of the information on your website and somebody else's website and kind of intermixing them and creating this very unique couple of paragraphs and links and all that stuff for the search person, they may already get their answer without actually going to your website. And so you're providing the right value to the person, but you're not actually driving them to your website. So keeping that in mind, it might be a good idea to really think through what are the key metrics that you're measuring when people are coming to your website or not coming to your website. Maybe it's reading online chat forums to make sure that, you know, whatever they're saying about you or the resources that you're providing are good. Maybe they're bad. You can improve on those. You just need to look at it a little bit differently. So hopefully explain that okay, but yeah, just going back to Google, roughly 90% of all online searches are happening through Google. I'm sure you could find websites that disagree with that, or maybe it's higher, who exactly knows, but it's a ridiculous amount, right? And I guess what I'm trying to get through with this point is that whatever Google says, so to speak, we need to kind of follow along with it and say, okay, if this is what the largest search provider website service is saying that they're going to be doing, we should probably adjust our services and our metrics to match the path that they're essentially taking us down, whether we agree with it or not. Again, like I said, there are benefits and drawbacks to this sort of thing. I feel like I probably skipped ahead with this, but here's some other things that you can focus on to get ahead of SGE. Emphasizing topical relevance. This, like I said, making sure that whatever you're writing on your website is relevant to whoever that person is that's searching for things. It's not so much, like I said, making sure that your headlines are accurate or your titles or your descriptions or whatever it is to just draw people in. It needs to actually provide value to people. And I feel like a lot of us already kind of do that. But with SEO in general and now SGE, making this a priority to constantly be improving our content on our website will be huge. Again, redefining meaningful metrics and KPIs, making sure that you're staying ahead of that. It could be click-through rates. You might see a drastic drop from something like that. Yeah. And also additionally, and this last point on here that I thought was kind of nice, is thought leadership, especially just through us doing various economic development type things. AI, as of right now, it's not this, there may be some disagreement with this, but it's not this sentient being that has its own mind and its own original thoughts as of yet, which is a scary thought to think, but AI still relies on us as humans to create this content. Every single unique response that AI gives us is not necessarily brand new information. It's just recycled from something that humans have put together. So we need to basically double down on being those thought leaders in our industries, sharing quality information, and we will basically rise in the search results, provide as much value to everyone, and that's how we can stay ahead of SGE. I just wanted to give you an example of what exactly this looks like on our website. So IASourceLink hires out a third-party company service to assist us with all of our SEO and now SGE work. How that's tackled is essentially researching the top search queries that people are searching for about the pages that we're wanting to rank well with and have SGE assist people with. So really researching those things. Along the right side, we have like our Start a Business Guide. There will be questions like, what do I need to start a small business in Iowa? And you write one or two answers to those questions, basically giving AI a better way of understanding this is the type of response that I want to provide to that reader that's relevant to that exact page. Keep in mind when you're making these answers to not make them salesy. They need to be very conversational. It's supposed to be a personalized experience for that person. Using buy now is probably not going to get you to rank well. I'm assuming we probably all don't do that, but that's the type of language that we want to stay away from as much as possible. And then lastly, just making sure that you're constantly improving whatever you're putting out into the world, right? Making sure that you're staying relevant, the content is staying relevant, and you're being as helpful as possible. And sometimes you hit it right on the head, sometimes you don't, as with everything else, and you just need to keep improving from there. But yeah, if maybe after this, I can send out this most updated presentation to everybody. There's a couple of links that I included that just explains, like this one, how to write structured data, which is essentially what this is. It gets hard coded onto your website. So you can learn a little bit about it. Maybe you're the technical person on your team and you actually do this stuff. Or maybe you hire somebody out to help you out with that. So next, I wanted to get into AI chatbots. We have in the past given talks, and we've worked with a couple of affiliates here to discuss what we're using in terms of chatbots. When we first started, we tried using, it was their pre-AI rollout they're trying to do right now, where you would have an actual conversation with somebody or this chatbot, and you would say, I want this service, or I want this, I want that. And you, as the creator of the chatbot, would have to know every single thing that that person could potentially say. And because of that, our chatbot wasn't able, we just couldn't think of everything that somebody would ask it in every single way. And so the bot wasn't smart enough, essentially, to provide the most value to whoever was using the chatbot. So from there, we had to go into a more of a yes or no style, what type of resources are you looking for? X, Y, Z. Somebody clicks Y, and then you go down from there. It's a very structured way. But with the new versions of chatbots, it's a little bit different, right? It's actually taking, I feel like I'm hopping ahead here, but it'll take all of the information from your website and kind of come up with something unique and valuable to that reader. So I will stop at that point and just share the 4 main reasons why we wanted to incorporate a chatbot in general. It was just to provide 24/7 client assistance, just to make sure that we're constantly helping people, meeting them where they need to be met, reducing client requests that we were dealing with. We love helping people, but sometimes you limit out on your resources and you can't assist as many people as quickly as you'd like. And then a fun stat that I wanted to include there, if anybody was still on the fence about using chatbots on your website, whether or not it's an AI chatbot or a traditional one, we first rolled it out. Sprout is its cute little name. Sprout as in like creating something new, back in 2021. And since then, we've assisted automatically or without our need of assistance, direct assistance, about 2,100 entrepreneurs from across the state of Iowa and the United States, which has essentially roughly saved us about 1,000 hours in, I'll just call it man hours, of actually working with those clients, because we were already giving them the resources that they were after. We just did it automatically, so that didn't fill up our queue of people to assist. So like I said, with AI chatbots, it's more of a customized experience and less yes or no's. Here's just like a screenshot of chatbot.com if you ever want to go play around with it. They use this thing called AI knowledge. Essentially what it is you're able to add in, I think the limit right now is like 1,000 links. And those 1,000 links are kind of like a knowledge base for this chatbot to rely on. So for us, what we've done is we've taken all individual links to our resource partners within the Resource Navigator. We also are home to the Business License Information Center, which is a centralized database of all business licensing in the state of Iowa. So there's about 460 of those, our how-to guides, blogs, all of that stuff, and we just crammed it inside of this chatbot. So now what the bot is able to do is to say, hey, if I'm going to give an answer, here's the data that I'm going to pull that answer from. And we don't have to anticipate every single thing that a person could possibly ask, because there's just so many web pages to try and predict an answer for. And then it's also good for frequently asked questions. Maybe you have things that you're answering all the time, which is a great reason why we created how-to guides in the first place. Is just we were just tired of answering the same questions, right? But you can basically load this thing into that, as well as training. If the bot doesn't answer the right way or is providing the wrong answers, you can train the bot to answer things in a specific way, or at least give it a starting ground or a starting place to answer questions better. So essentially from this AI chatbot, and I know we have another affiliate here to share more about bots, so I won't share too much, but having more human-like conversations, save time on those repetitive questions, really scale up our operations, so to speak. And then just creating a seamless pipeline between us, our resource partners, and our clients, those entrepreneurs from across the state and sometimes across the United States as well. So we're kind of anticipating that by spring of 2024, our new AI chatbot will be available. I'm sorry I can't show it today, but it's out there. And then one last thing that I wanted to share, which maybe this will spark a couple of ideas out there for all of you, is our next big idea. I'm sure by now all of us have used ChatGPT to interact and to ask questions and do whatever you're going to use it for, right? It's an awesome tool. But essentially what we're thinking we can do is create a ChatGPT style interface where every single web page for all of the state of Iowa government websites are loaded into this tool, this AI tool. And this includes tutorials, frequently asked questions. How do you use a certain web portal to upload your sales tax, collected sales tax, anything you can possibly think of. And essentially a business owner out there could come to this website, this web page on our website, whatever it may be, and ask a question, and it would know every single answer that the state of Iowa would want or desire to provide for that question. Ideally, this would be that go-to resource for those entrepreneurs out there and hopefully become the first line of defense for all, I'll just call it customer service departments for the state of Iowa, and really leveraging this technology and IASourceLink as a brand, as a name, to be the place that the state of Iowa actually relies on to assist many of those questions that come through first. So with that, that's all I've got. I do have a thing for questions, but I know we have other people and everything, so I can stop sharing and quit talking because I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk.